Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Glacier Chains snow tire chains with V-bar links on a ladder style here today on our 2021 Chevy Silverado 1500. To start your installation, you just want to go ahead and set out your chains just like so. What we're looking for is any kind of kinks or links that are bound up on each other. As you guys can see here today, we have a pretty good set. Nothing too bad here. Let me go ahead and clean up this side so we can see. Yep, nothing going to be binding this up. A lot of times these hooks will get caught in here, and really the longest time of setup is just kind of unraveling a little bit, but it doesn't take us too much work to undo them all. What we are looking for here though is having our V-bar struts pointing up, and of course our hard points of contact are going to be on that same line of track. So you guys can see these guys, we want those not on top of our wheel, or going into it I should say. It is going to be sitting on the outside. So what we're going to be doing is gently setting this across our wheel. So we are making sure our cams are to our outside, and like I said, our V-bars are at the top. Therefore, we can go ahead and give ourselves an edge to actually get these on here correctly. So I'm just going to kind of approach the middle here, just kind of eyeballing it, trying to find where that middle can be for ourselves. Then I like to go ahead and use my elbows here to kind of wing this out a little bit. What that allows you to do is kind of avoid your rim there. So you can go ahead and actually set this across your wheel without scuffing that rim. Repeating that process all the way on the other side, and just getting these guys set with how we want them to be. So I can see my back side is tracking a little bit, so I went ahead and fixed that. And we can go ahead, make sure everything's seated properly here. All right guys, here we are on the other side of our wheel to make our back connection. I'm simply gonna take this, I'm gonna go right to the middle here today. You guys can see we have a lot of slack. However, we still have those front connections to make, so I'm gonna make it a little easier for myself. And we do have some cams that are gonna go ahead and really tighten this to our wheel as we get it installed later. Now with these extra guys here, I wouldn't do it in your first run through with your chains. You never wanna make a mistake and not be able to go back. However, later on when we're for sure we don't need these chains, we can go ahead and snip these guys, and therefore we don't have this extra chain bouncing around, potentially getting caught or damaging anything on the back of our wheel. Well, now that that's made, we can go ahead, reseat everything, make sure we have a good connection here in the back. We don't want those V-bars just like that happening. There we go, we got them nice and secure there. All right guys, now we can go ahead and make our front connection. To do so, we're gonna simply take our chains just like so, place it here on our cam lever system. I'm gonna go to that second guy for now, see how that works. I'm gonna try and slide it down in that length. You can see where that chain actually wants to sit, and then we can bring our lever back. We're gonna have this extra little linkage here that we simply slot that over the top of. I did have it, and then I lost it. And as you guys can see, it's gonna sit right there. So we might be able to get to that third guy. For now though, I think we're gonna go ahead and see how well the job our cams do of taking out this excess slack. So it actually is having a pretty good fit here. We wanna make sure that all of our V-bars are where we want them. I will say we have some pretty substantial tread here today on our wheels. So that's definitely kind of impacting us just a little bit here. And the one thing to take note of too, you do have this little bind here where these guys can't properly go where they wanna go. What's going to happen on later when you actually are in the element to utilize your V-bars, you can go ahead and roll those forward. That's going to situate just a little bit better. But for today's purposes, we can go ahead and start tightening down our cams. To tighten your cams, you're going to need the included tool here. And all we have to do, simply place the flat end right on the inside there and tighten our cams clockwise to go ahead and tighten that up. As you guys are going to see, it's going to lock into position there, and it's really going to take out a lot of the play we're going to have. So we can just repeat this process around our wheel until we're nice and secure. I'm just gonna go ahead and check my fit here. We don't need to over tighten these guys, and I am seeing a very nice feel. A little bit more slack here, especially because we have this guy at the bottom right. So I'm maybe just gonna get this guy, see how he works. There we go. And yeah, that feels good. We don't even need this extra one here. And you don't always use all of your cams, of course, but there we have a very nice secure fit. Last little things to do is just to make sure we're checking our V-bar supports. Now, I think we have a very good fit here. However, we always recommend to maybe look at some rubber tensioners to really make sure that this does a great job of staying towards the center. Well, I've gone ahead and grabbed some rubber tensioners here. All we're looking out for those, making sure, of course, our hooks aren't going to be going towards our tire. So all we have to do is simply slot it in, and much like a lug nut system, we're just going to kind of go even across it in separate angles to go ahead and distribute that force appropriately. So I'm gonna go up and away here, down and away here. Maybe go a little bit more up and away over this way. I would try to stay away from your cams too. You don't really want to be interacting with them too much. So just trying to get them, even just a link over, is going to be helpful to make sure we're not impacting them too much. But there we go, nice and situated. Now personally, I don't really think these tensioners are doing too much. The cam system does a great job of really tightening this up, giving you a nice secure fit. It's always one little step though that can be helpful. It pulls everything towards the center. A couple last little things with that installation. As you guys can see, we do have it here on the rear wheel. That is because most of your Chevy Silverados are going to be a rear wheel drive. Be sure to check your vehicle's owner's manual guide to make sure yours is also up to snuff with that assessment. And we do have this here today on 275/65 R18 tires. So yours might be a little bit different. Of course, make sure you are putting your vehicle in the vehicle fit guide, and even in that tire chain section, it's going to go ahead and let you list that tire size. So that's going to be integral to make sure you can fit in here. Now, you are going to have some leeway above and below that, of course, so hopefully your tires are also going to have an A-OK time with these. And on here too, you do get this little canvas bag, which can be nice to go ahead and store this when it's not in use. Now, personally, you're going to find this to degrade really, really quick. You already see in the warehouse already not getting treated too well. Nice enough in a pinch, right? You can go ahead and get them in there. However, you're not going to be just a little plastic tote system to go ahead and store these guys into. You can even get a really flat one, not take up too much room. It becomes really easy to go ahead and throw those in the bed of the truck with no problem at all. Like I said, enough for one or two maybe times, get them in here, but after a while, definitely gonna see it start degrading pretty quickly. Now, speaking of that too, we might have mentioned before, putting a little bit of grease and a little bit of oil on here can go a long way of making sure that these last for the seasons to come. They are gonna just kind of be in that muck and mire, in that salt, in that rust, so gonna be helpful to go ahead and treat these guys and make sure that they can last us for quite a while. For that installation, I am always a big fan of the cam system. Just makes it really easy to go ahead and make those connections and then tighten down everything as they go. And as you can see, very secure fit on here, which is something I love about those cams. Becomes very, very easy to use. Overall, there are better, easier systems out there for convenience for getting on here. However, if you're looking for something that's really gonna do a great job of biting through that snow and that ice and making sure that no matter what situation you're in, you can get out of, this guy is definitely gonna be a great little pickup. Well guys, I think that about does it for our look here today at the Glacier Chains Snow Tire Chains with V-bar links on a ladder style here today on our 2021 Chevy Silverado 1500. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.